I've been looking everywhere for you. Of all the places, I should have known to find you in the library. It's very unlikely of you to miss out on... Oh. Falling asleep and hunched over the table like that. This is quite the sight, dear, and yet a very irresponsible one indeed. Caught up in perusing the countless pages and yet again losing track of daylight. I must say, I do not know whether to admire your tenacity or lecture your blatant disregard of a schedule. I wonder, what literature is it that caught your fancy this time? After all, I should take note of which you would be hiding next in your quarters. A novel, and one of a tragic nature. This doesn't seem to be part of the book. I'm quite surprised it isn't an obscure read this time. Although, you mustn't continue your slumber here, for it may hurt your back if let be for a longer period. Shh. It's time to awaken, dear. Oh, I thought you were asleep. Not anymore? Am I to believe my presence caused you to stir? It's slowly become a subconscious alarm these days. I suppose this is to root from your hesitance of vulnerability with my presence? Or at least your hesitance to acknowledge it when you unknowingly do so. Would your subconscious be as kind to also be sensitive enough as to be aware of the time that passes in your rumination? You weren't ruminating? My, that was quite the passionate denial. Then do tell as to what causes you to indulge in such distractions. I am aware you have been taking even more time out of your day to sneak past me and into these confinements. Were you perhaps gathering ideas for stories to tell the children at the orphanage? If my memory serves true, you had just done so this morning. Is it that much of a delight that you would wish for another to be scheduled this soon? Me? What I thought of it? I suppose it was rather enjoyable. Now, would I ever lie to you? All right, I suppose it is half true. Although I did not lie upon stating my enjoyment of today's activities. I simply didn't specify on what it is I found amusement in. Then what was it? Now, enough questions. What? You don't really think I'm not aware of what you are trying to achieve? But of course, I shan't join you in being distracted from what needs to be done. And, as of now, that is providing you with proper slumber. It is time we get you back to your chamber. The night is growing quite late, and the moon is high up, taking its rightful throne and rule amongst the starry abyss above us. You don't prefer it just yet? Still. My, you should have said earlier. Should I have it arranged that your bed be moved here instead? Reading in the dark isn't a preferable nightly activity. After all, some even say it deteriorates eyesight. If you wish not to impair such ability, I suggest we move along for today. Although I must inquire, why is it you have shown quite the interest in this particular one for a while now? Am I to believe it is somewhat special? Not in particular, yet not quite humorless musings of literature either. Is it your goal to slowly torment me the more I divulge knowledge? You find it rather amusing? I suppose. On the contrary, I digress. Your philosophy has improved over the time we've spent. Indeed, it is pointless to think of whether every action has its own reason or meaning behind it. But, knowing you, dear, you are one who has tried to make the most of this life. After all, isn't it what you had signed the contract for? What's with the grimace painting your expressions, dear? I'm simply telling the truth. For it is, after all, written in the fine print of our contract. I do not lie. And neither do I have the reason to. Both of us are aware of the other's reason for partaking the contract in the first place. And, safe to say, nothing has changed on my part. Has it on yours? You can't say. Has something been on your mind as of late? Could it be regret? Albeit it proves to be an interesting sight. I must say, one mustn't dwell on what has already been. It provides no positive outcome to be doing such, if it isn't done for growth. Such benefits neither of us, as while you worry, such trifling spoils you. Or rather, your soul. It wouldn't have, under regular circumstances, had our contract not necessitate your enjoyment of this borrowed time, one I had to steal from a certain redhead before being fully taken. Unfortunately, it is quite the humanly trait to be indecisive when faced with the repercussion of one's actions, and far more so when faced with the form of demise. But even with the knowledge of such, I accepted your terms. And you, mine. Now tell me, what is this that served a hindrance to... Not quite? Then, what is it? I am joyed that you are content of the experiences brought about by this agreement. Although, if not dissatisfaction, I cannot say anything over this feeling that has been bothering you. A question now? Why, dear, you really are quite the curious one. Then again, when have you not bombarded me with countless quips? I shall answer, but under one condition. You are to vacate the room and finally occupy your chambers. Yes, indeed. I am in no position to make such bargains, as I am to answer you nonetheless. But wouldn't you say it is much beneficial if and when you fall asleep, you are within the comforts of a bed, wrapped around in warm blankets, and warm albeit the cold breeze whispering its lullaby from the open window? Indeed, I am tempting you of the idea of slumber. Is it working? You might actually start to believe I care. Oh, but I do. Although as to what degree is unbeknownst either you nor I. After all, I am simply doing my duties as your butler, and I am sworn to your beck and call. I am yours. Now then, the sooner you tell me your musing, the sooner I can get you to retire for the night. Whatever it may be, I am sworn to secrecy, just as I always will be. I will gladly purse my lips, be it your order. Or am I to believe you have put your rather disagreeable side to rest for the night? If so, shouldn't you follow suit? Yes, I have reiterated my disdain towards mutts. Frankly, as much as I do not like them, they confuse me. Fond of their human, albeit being commanded loyalty. They welcome the chain on their neck willingly, and yet... never the matter. I'm one to speak of dogs when I too... That is of a different nature. As a collar binds it to its human, I accept it as so-called bind of our contract. As I want your soul. Yes, it does serve as food. And isn't that what a human provides for the dog? I digress. Wait, don't tell me you plan to... Do tell me which book has made you interested in having a mutt. So I shall shred its pages and burn it till not even ashes remain. Me? Thinking of burning it? Whatever do you mean? My face says it? Well, there'd be no need for such, if one isn't the cause of your sudden fancy for incessant barking. I'll just have to burn what is. Then I actually feel. Of course, fondness, disdain. Genuinely feel? Then I can cry. Hold on. You said a question. Lest I've unlearned a knowledge of counting, I believe that had been quite a few now. Are you simply trying to hold me hostage with your words? Now then. Yes, I too possess the required organs for crime, dear. Why do you ask? What would I feel after I have devoured you? If you are asking me to mourn you, I'm afraid I wouldn't. After all, I will savor in the fruit of my long wait, which is your soul. By then, I would be satiated. Sentiments are for mortals, and I am anything but. Demons are everlasting, beings who fulfill one role: to feed. We don't change. We simply are. Although we abide by your humanly conditions, it is merely of our own volition, and for our entertainment. My sole purpose was to give you what you desired, before taking what's mine. You knew the answers yourself, and yet... You have a sullen expression. Deny all you want, dear, but I'm bound to secrecy, not blindness. Now then, up you go. I have humored you enough. Stop fussing. I'm not to be faulted for simply following your orders. That I not humor you, of course, lest it be a direct order. And not to humor your defiance of your own will as well. You cannot make footnotes in a contract you've already penned, especially if it is to go against your own word. Haven't I already informed you of this in our lessons a while ago? How about this? We shall fit your hobby between lessons somehow, so you need not of escaping. Once a month, a book of your choosing. We shall analyze the ins and outs, probable causes and significant periods and events that might have led to such work to be published. I'm simply doing this because I find amusement at your frustration. Whether or not I do is beyond the contract's scope. But yes, your childish tantrums do alleviate the humdrum, albeit initially serving a nuisance. Why, it is one of the reasons being your butler is a delight. Your soul. Why, of course, that is a goal. A soul that has had a taste of its enjoyment is just as appetizing as the time and tolls it took to attain. Frankly, I'd rather not waste both of our efforts and take your soul immaturely, lest you be fully satisfied of what its cost had garnered you in return. I follow and hang on to your every word. Yet no one is stopping us from enjoying the means. Now then, I shall finally reunite you with your bed, just as you should have been hours ago. I am aware of your ability to walk, but I shan't put you down just yet. Fine, but you must be held accountable to your word. One I find hard to believe, lest it be formally agreed upon. Keep close, won't you, dear? The manor hides secrets that one might not have the capacity to comprehend. My, what bravery! Albeit the nervous laugh escaping your lips, I hear. Even after all the time that had passed, you never failed to amuse me. Never have I once managed to strike fear, albeit your full knowledge of my being. Oh? Humor me? You needn't do such if it isn't to your liking. Why, this would certainly have been believable had you not given such a quip beforehand. Very well, I would gladly play along. Now then, here we are. Would you be as well as to allow me to change you into your nightgown? As I expected. Yes, my back is turned. But I shall not leave until you are actually settled. If you do not mind, I simply must ask you my own set of musics. After all, it is the least in return for your handful earlier. Why is it that you have refused to treat me with utmost advantage? I am your butler, and a demon nonetheless. But most you have ordered of me could have been done by even a simple mortal. Humans manage to corrupt each other's thinking, and this has gone on for as long as I've known your world. They lie and cheat and rob their fellows, even forsake their kind in hope of taking a step forward towards their goal. Yet you haven't a hint of hatred. You feel there is no reason to do so? I guessed as much. A vague answer for a mystery of a soul, and just like our initial interactions. Interesting is best I can put it as. You pretend to not care and simply act of desire, making it seem like you've made the most out of the contract. And yet all I have provided, you simply found a way to give to others. Soirees, but one for the penurious. Humoring those in orphanages. What is it you really want from this contract? There are times when I thought I finally grasped what it was, and just as quick, it would slip away from me. Just what? Yes? The book from earlier? Ah. To die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Indeed, I see you have finally made it there. Or have you managed to finish it? But you left the last page unread. Why? Why, you are indeed correct in that notion. There are much books left unread and pages unseen, no matter how much time you have in this world. Each one is pointless to mull over as much as the adventures it has bestowed upon you as a reader. Nothing lasts forever. But do tell, why have you left this one in particular? I can find out myself. I see. Then as per your order, I shall find the answer myself soon. You seem to be learning faster every day. I'm so very proud of you. Indeed. One can objectively infer that you are a much more skillful person than that of a year ago. But such sentiments are a fool's words. One might even say, meaningless. Yet quite touching, really. Now then, I shall leave you to rest. Stay? Is this vulnerability I hear? Why, I wouldn't vacate the quarters if you so please. Never mind. Very well. Good night. You really are quite something. I wonder if their cluelessness was more interesting than the expression made if I was to reveal my knowledge. A scribbled letter upon the final page is definitely something I would expect from you. Leave it to you to be thanking even the very thing that would lead to your demise at a time. Adorable. But, as you had written, I shall give you the bliss of the sweetest of dreams, just like I always had. Till then, I'm yours, and you mine. Sleep tight.